Hi, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Books and Beaches. So I saw another creator on YouTube do this idea and I thought it looked like so much fun. I'll make sure to link this creator below. But what she did was take the most recent, it says it's the 40 most read books of the 2023 Goodreads Reading Challenge so far this year. Now, this article, I'll link the Goodreads article below. This article was written back in June, so I know I'm getting to this a little bit late, but considering it's the last week in September, but I thought it would still be kind of fun because yes, we're a little over halfway through 2023 already, but why not? So I'm going to screen record on my computer and I'll kind of share this simultaneously. And I just want to talk through whether or not these 40 most read books of the challenge are actually worth it or not, and whether or not I've read even some of them. So I'll go ahead, I'll share my screen and we'll just see. So let's go ahead here. Let me get this started. All right, so we have the 40 most read books of the 2023 Goodreads Reading Challenge so far, like I said, and I'm going to scroll through here. So number one, it says It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I have read this. I did enjoy it, although I did find myself liking the first one. It Ends With Us just a little bit better. But, oh, number two, Daisy Jones and the Sixth. I loved that book. I highly suggest if you were going to pick up that Taylor Jenkins Reid book, you do it on audio because it's a full cast and it's just really, really good. Number three, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yeah, I loved that book too. I have recommended that book to so many of my coworkers and I'm pretty sure like half of them have read it. So one of my favorites by them as well. Number four, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I did read this. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I listened to it and it was a super interesting listen. She narrates it. And normally I listen to my audiobooks on 2 times the speed. This one I couldn't because she talks so fast. But just what an interesting look at life behind the scenes as a child actor. So I enjoyed that one. Then number five, It Ends With Us. There it is. That is probably one of my favorite Colleen Hoovers so far, other than Verity. So number six, Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I haven't read this yet. It's actually sitting over here on my shelves somewhere because it was a book that I picked up, I think, as a BFF with Book of the Month. You got that one free because it was Book of the Year, but I just haven't picked it up yet. Same thing with number seven, Lessons in Chemistry. This is Bonnie Garmis. I have not picked this one up either. I think Lindsay at Lindsay's Little Library picked that one up and said she really enjoyed it. It's not one that I own. So if I get it through my library or I have it on one of my apps like Scribd or Scribd, depending on how you want to pronounce that, that would be one that maybe I would pick up, but I don't know, we'll see. Then there's Verity, probably my favorite Colleen Hoover. Number nine is Spare by Prince Harry. I want to pick this one up, but it's not one that I'm like really reaching for right now. And it'll be one I probably pick up on audio because I know he reads it. I will probably be dragged because I have not read number 10, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I think, what do they call it? ACOTAR? I own, I think, the first 4 books on ebook. I want to say it was like a Kindle sale at some point and you got them all together. And I have had students that have read this series, which I guess I'm a little shocked because I don't know, but I don't choose what 7th graders read all the time. And so I know I should pick that one up because there's like a cult favorite, like cult following, but number 11, Emily Henry's Book Lovers. I did really enjoy that one. Just a cute, like romancy. I think that's Emily, Enemies to Lovers. So that one was good. Number 12 then is A Court of Mist and Fury. I forget what number that is in. Oh, number 2, as I hover over it there. Number 13, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I was in the minority of my book club when we read this one. I did not like it. I just did not like the dialogue between the two main characters, that is just not my type of romance, but I know most of my book club loved it. I just thought it was too long, and so I have no desire to like pick up the next couple. I think there's a trilogy out right now. Just not my thing. Number 14, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I really enjoyed that one and its sequel. I love a good Frida McFadden, and I know with a Frida McFadden book, I am going to get through it quickly and just easy. It's just an easy read for me, for sure. 15, The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, or Ladies, pronounce it wrong. But I read that one a couple years ago, and I remember really liking it, and the twist is so good. So yeah, I don't have much more to say about that one, but that would be a thriller that I would recommend to a lot of people. Although I have seen that some people think it's overrated. So number 16, Twisted Love. I have not read that one, and I'm not gonna lie, that just is probably not on my list of interest at all. 17, A Court of Wings and Rune. Once again, part of that series, haven't picked it up. Number 18, Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is on my list of things to read. I even have the audiobook on Audible, and it is part of my 23 books I want to read in 2023. So I need to pick it up here soon. I just haven't done that yet. So number 19, The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. One of my favorite books that I've read this year. I distinctly remember reading this one on spring break. I remember sitting by the pool at my aunt and uncle's house reading this one, and my cousin had already read it, so I kept kind of asking her, like, is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? She wouldn't tell me, and I'm glad she didn't, but I really, really enjoyed that one. Number 20, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I did enjoy that series. I think the first two were better than the third one in my opinion, but I do like the concept of that book, and I've also read like the .5, the prequel novella. So number 21, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I did read that one. I didn't quite enjoy it as much as some other people that I know, but it is what it is. Ironically, I have number 22, Things We Hide from the Light, marked as want to read, but I think after finishing the first Lucy Score one, I'm going to pass on that one, but that is the sequel to the previous one I mentioned on this list. 23, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I hear so much about this one on like Book Talk, on TikTok. I think it's like it's obviously a hockey romance, and I think hockey romance was a big like topic for a while there, but I don't know, just probably not something I would really enjoy. Not surprisingly, another Colleen Hoover in spot number 24, Reminders of Him. I did really like that one. That one hit you in the heartstrings, I think, if I remember right, because I think it's about a mom who goes back after being in prison, I believe. I could be remembering that wrong, but I did like that one. So number 25, A Court of Frost and Starlight. Once again, part of that series that I just haven't read, but I don't know. Let me know below if you think it's something I should pick up. Obviously, we know I love mysteries and thrillers, but I'm willing to like branch out. I did branch out and read Project Hail Mary, and that's sci-fi this year. So let me know if that is a series that I should pick up, especially picking it up sooner than later. Number 26, The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. I have not picked up anything by Allie Hazelwood, even though I know she's super popular. She's been featured on Book of the Month before. It just didn't seem like something up my alley. And I want to say if I read reviews about it, I've heard people say that it was either fairly predictable or just the main character kind of bugged them a little bit. So that was not one that I've put on my list. Clearly I clicked want to read at some point, but I don't know if it'll be one I pick up. Number 27 is Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan. I read this one. I struggled with this one. We did this one for a book club, and I struggled with some of the content. It's kind of a twist in the book, so I don't want to say anything, but it didn't take away from the book by any means. I don't know. I struggled with some of it. So if you know, you know, kind of thing. But it just, I have enjoyed other Jodi Picoult books much more. 19 Minutes is still one of my all-time favorite books I've ever read. Not that it deals with a great topic by any means, but still a very, very powerful book. Number 28, another Sarah J. Maas Moss book is A Court of Silver Flames. Obviously, haven't read that, so I can't speak to that. Number 29 is a book that was all over BookTube earlier this year, and that is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. And I want to say, I know for a fact Sarah's Nightstand has read it, and I feel like possibly Lindsay at Lindsay's Little Library did too, but it's one I question whether or not I'll pick it up. Let me know if you think I should, but like a lot of these, if you think I should pick them up, let me know. But it's one that I'll have on my want to read list, but we'll see if I ever get to it. Number 30, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I read this either last year or 2 years ago. Let me see, when did it come out? 2020. So I think I actually ended up reading it in 2020. I really enjoyed it. It deals with some darker concepts of a girl that's, looking to end her life and kind of dealing with the what ifs, like what if her life would have went this way or that way. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an interesting read, but I know some people have difficulty with that content. So number 31, The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I think this is a series that apparently I clicked want to read at some point, but I don't know. I want to say it's probably a romance series, so I don't know if it'll be something I pick up or not. We'll see. Same thing with number 32, Twisted Games. I think this is part of that other series too. It's just probably not going to be for me. Something tells me that's giving off vibes of Credence, like Credence by Penelope Douglas, and I DNF'd that book, and that was the first book that I've officially DNF'd all year, so hard pass. Number 33, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I love this series. I have read all 3 of them so far. I have the 4th one actually sitting right here. I cannot wait to pick up this one. So, which I've said for a lot of things lately, but one of my favorite YA series that I've read in a long time. So, and I think even the audiobooks are really good on that one. So, let's see, number 34, The Final Offer, Lauren Asher. This must be part of that series, so I can't say too much about it. November 9 by Colleen Hoover. Okay, clearly Colleen Hoover is going to be really popular among, the Goodreads crowd. I did really like November 9. I would say November 9 is one that I have loaned out to a lot of people, and I just really liked the concept. These 2 people that continually meet up on November 9th every year. I actually liked it so much that I picked up, here it is. The cover that's showing on here is the original cover, and I do have a copy of that cover, but I loved it so much that I picked up this beautiful version of it, so I do really like that one. Let's see. Number 36, Taylor Jenkins Reid, One True Loves. Oh, another book that I loved, and that is a book that made me think, because it's a book that a woman thinks her husband has died and he comes back, and she's already kind of moved on, and it's one of those books that I've even asked other people that have read it, I'm like, what would you do? So really liked that one. Number 37, not surprised to see The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller on here. I did read it. I don't think I loved it as much as other people did, but it has rave reviews almost everywhere. I enjoyed it. I kind of like the historical fiction aspect to it, but I didn't rave about it as much as everybody else did. Number 38, Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It was a good read, but I liked some of her books that have been previously mentioned in this list a lot more than I liked that one. And we'll see. I haven't made up my mind about Carrie Soto yet because I haven't read it, so we will see. Number 39 is Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood. Just like the other one, I haven't picked it up. I haven't read it, and I'm not really sure I will, just because I don't think it's the vibe of a book I want to pick up, but we shall see. And then number 40, the very last book on this list, is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. Now, I think this one just was created into an HBO show, if I'm not mistaken, or at least one of the streaming services. It might not have been HBO. I liked this book, but it was marketed as a thriller, and I didn't really think it was a thriller. More suspense, maybe. If I'm remembering right, it's a woman that's married to a man And he has a daughter, so it's her stepdaughter, and he basically goes missing and they have to figure it out. And so it was a lot less thriller, a lot more just like suspense. So I think it's marketed wrong, but I still enjoyed it. So those are the 40 most read books of the 2023 Goodreads Reading Challenge so far. And like I said, this article came out in June, so I'm a little behind, but I just thought it was such a fun concept. I had to kind of put it together. And we'll see. Maybe I'll do this at the end of the year and see what the 40 top books of the year were and kind of make a comparison. So have you read any of these books? Tell me about your thoughts. And like I said, give me some feedback on the ones that I haven't picked up yet and whether or not I should pick those up. So as always, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.